Let me say something uncomfortable. Most of the skills that people are learning today will be useless in next 5 to 10 years. Not because they are lazy, not because they are not smart enough, but because the rules are keep changing. AI is improving, tools are shifting, jobs are disappearing and reappearing under new names. The real question isn't what skill should I learn? The real question is what kind of thinking will survive this change? Today, I want to talk about the skills that I'm betting on for the next 10 years. It's not a tool, it's not a software, it's not a trend. It's a way of thinking that helps you adapt faster, learn continuously, and turn chaos into clarity. If the real question is not what skill should I learn, but what kind of thinking survives this change, this is where my answer begins. For me, everything starts with the system. Most people live and work by tasks. They react to messages, they handle problems, and they move on to the next thing. It's not because they are careless, it's because they never design a system. Imagine you start every workday with the same way. Open your inbox, check your messages, and you respond to what feels urgent. By noon, you have been busy for hours, but you haven't actually moved any forward. This is not a discipline problem. That's a system problem. A system thinker does things differently. Instead of asking, what should I respond first? They ask, why am I letting my inbox decide priority? So they design a system. Messages are checked at fixed times, deep work is blocked on the calendar, repeated tasks are documented once and reused. Now their days run on structure, no urgency. Same person, same skills, completely different outcomes. And this way of thinking even goes deeper. Here is another example. Let's say every week you prepare a same report. You collect data, you clean it, you format it, and you send it. Most of the people just repeat the work week after week. A system thinker pauses and asks, why am I rebuilding this every week? So instead of working harder, they design a new process. Data is pulled automatically, structure is already predefined, and the output is generated with the minimal effort. What used to take hours now takes only few minutes. And even couple months ago when I was working as an engineer, I redesigned this type of structures a lot, because I was doing same thing week after week, and at some point I decided to ask myself, why am I doing this every week after week? So I designed a new structure, I just pull the data that I'm receiving, and the Excel sheet that I prepared before, it gives me the exact results that I need. So with this process I could speed up everything that I work on and could spend more time on myself. In this way, what used to take hours just takes few minutes. So over time, this way of thinking saves time, energy, and focus. And here is the simple truth that I have learned. You don't scale effort, you scale system. And this is why system thinking matters so much. Most of the skills that people are learning today will be irrelevant in couple years, but the systems, they don't expire. When tools change, you don't panic. You just redesign the system. When the rules change, you don't start from zero. You just adjust the process. Skills comes and goes, but the systems, they evolve. And if you can think in system, you are never really starting over. That's why the system thinking is the foundation of everything else. And once you start thinking in system, something becomes very clear. No system stays perfect forever. Tools change, environment changes, reality changes, which is exactly why the next skill matters just as much. The second skill that I'm betting on is learning how to learn, because systems only work if you know how to update them. Most people don't struggle because they can't learn. They struggle because they stop learning, or they keep learning in the same way, even when it no longer works. Learning how to learn means staying flexible. It means being comfortable with saying, I don't know this yet. And it means letting go ideas that used to work but no longer works for you. Here's a simple example. More videos, more notes, more tabs. But learning doesn't happen through accumulation. It happens through understanding. So instead of asking what should I consume, ask, do I really understand this? Could I explain it simply to someone else? If you can't explain it in simple words, you haven't understood it yet. This is a rule I live by. Understanding beats memorization every time. Learning how to learn also means learning from the feedbacks. When something doesn't work, you don't take it personally. You can ask, what is teaching me? What would I change next time? This mindset removes fear from learning. Because you are not trying to be perfect, you are trying to improve. And this is why these skills matters in the long run. Specific skills will expire, methods will change, industries will shift. But if you know how to learn, you can always rebuild your skill set and improve yourself. You are never behind. You are in the process. That's why learning how to learn is the second foundation. So my friend, once you learn how to build a system and how to update them by learning, one thing becomes critical. You need to think clearly. The third skill that I'm betting on is clear thinking. Most people don't struggle because life is too hard. They struggle because the way they think is messy. Too many inputs, too many opinions, too many decisions happening in one time. Clear thinking is ability to slow down and separate what matters from what doesn't. It means asking simple but powerful questions like, what is the real problem in here? What actually needs my attention right now? When you think clearly, decisions become lighter. You stop reacting, you start choosing. Let me give you another example. When you feel overwhelmed, you don't try to fix everything at once. What you can do best is write things down, look at them and decide what matters most. Most stress doesn't come from too much work. It comes from unclear thinking. This is a thought that I remind myself often. Clarity creates calm. Clear thinking also protects your energy. Instead of spreading yourself on things, you focus on fewer things and you better on them. And in a world full of noise, this becomes real advantage. This is why clear thinking matters in the long term. Tools will get faster, information will keep increasing, but ability to think clearly, to simplify complexity, and to make calm decisions will always be valuable. And once thinking becomes clear, something else will change naturally. The way you communicate becomes clear too. Ideas move faster, messages will land better, and people will understand you. Clear communication isn't about talking more. It's about saying the right thing in the simplest possible way. Most problems at work and in life don't come from bad intention. They come from unclear communications. People assume messages get misunderstood. Expectations stay unspoken. Clear communication starts with one simple question. What is the point that I'm trying to make? Before sending a message, before joining a meeting, before explaining an idea, ask yourself, what do I want the other person to understand or do? And remove everything else. Here's a principle that completely changed how I communicate. If you can't say it simply, you don't understand it clearly. Clear communication saves time. It prevents confusions and builds trust. Over time, this compounds. People who communicate clearly, they don't sound just smarter. They become leaders even without titles. That's why clear communication is the fourth foundation. And once you can think clearly and communicate clearly, the final question becomes unavoidable. Where should your effort actually go? The final skill that I'm betting on is leverage thinking. Leverage thinking is not about working harder, and it's not even about building a better systems. It's about deciding what deserves your time in the first place. Most people are busy. Leverage thinkers are selective. They ask questions like, what creates the biggest impact if I focus here? Where does 1 hour create 10 hours of value? This is where everything comes together. Systems help you to execute. Learning helps you to adapt. Clear thinking helps you to decide. Communication helps you to align with others. Leverage decides where all should be applied. Effort is limited. Time is limited. Energy is limited. But leverage isn't. When you choose the right problems to work on, progress stops feeling heavy. Small actions start creating big results. And momentum replaces tiredness. That's why leverage thinking is not just another skill. It's the skill that makes all of them compound. That's the operating system I'm building my future on. So if you ask me what skill I'm betting on for the next 10 years, it's not a single ability. A way of thinking built on 5 foundations: system thinking, learning how to learn, clear thinking, clear communication, and leverage. Specific skills will come and go. Titles will change, tools will evolve, but people who can think clearly, adapt quickly, and redesign how they work will always move forward. You don't need to master everything. You need to master how you think. Because the future doesn't belong to most talented or the most knowledgeable. It belongs to those who can learn, decide, and act with clarity.